To me, Sri Lanka missed the trick by letting New Zealand bat first. On a big game like this, I'm surprised why Sri Lanka, after winning the toss, putting New Zealand to bat first.
Just so slow again, he can't catch up with it. Finch, you're so right with the deliberate line that they haven't tried to get anywhere near the stumps. They've seen the plan and what worked for Sri Lanka. And it's a discipline thing as well. Not going to try and buy a wicket. I'm not going to err from what our plans are and our team ethos is for this game and this encounter. Gone up, it's gone up. Mitchell getting in, big hands, safely underneath that. Ravindra's got 4, New Zealand have got a 6th.
What a night out with the ball for Ravindra. It's exactly what we're talking about. Committed to the plan, he keeps it wide. Says if you want to take on the short boundary, you have to do it against the spin. Beautiful execution again. Daryl Mitchell, he's got beautiful hands. Ravindra's got 4. Hemanta goes for 3. It's 59 for 6.
Will Elligate is the new man. Just floating it above the eye line. Talked about the lines, the lengths that New Zealand committed to bowling. It's a great example.
It's just so disciplined from New Zealand. Daryl Mitchell, the wonderful fielder in the deep. Now he gets his head nice and set. Makes a relatively tough chance look routine.
That's best bowling figures for Ravindra. 4 wickets for just 13 runs. 5th best in this tournament.
On aerial behind point. It'll spin away, and I think it'll go all the way it does.
Sri Lanka needs a lot more of this. Lalage and Kamidu. Pretty much the last pair. Thrown in wide. Has a slash at it. Finds the boundary.
How was that?
It's a wide, so we will have another ball in the over.
Oh.
8 from it, 13 done, 67 for 6.
Just going for a break.
Oh, hey, just the man I'm just going for a break.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
But life still goes on.
New Zealand have gone to their 7th bowling option in Glenn Phillips. Wickets to fall. All of them for New Zealand. Started very first ball, Matt Henry, Pathum Nasanka, and then Ravindra got into the action. Couple of sharp stumpings for Tim Seifert. Lanka just popped one straight up in the air. Mitchell taking a comfortable catch last.
Two lefties at the crease, that's why Glenn Phillips is into the attack. Lanka. There's the other wicket to go. There's no control. It's been evident right throughout this batting innings. Yes, they lost some momentum at the back end of their bowling in Sri Lanka, but there hasn't been a plan when they've walked out to bat here. You need to know when you walk out to bat what your best options to score are, who your targets are as a bowler. In conditions that they are far more comfortable with than New Zealand, they've just been absolutely dominated. They've been beaten at their own game. Batting at times has lacked intent, and at other times it's been reckless. There hasn't been a huge amount in between.
Yeah, I'll pin it down to lack of intent. From the very start, they never had a plan. There was no intent whatsoever. You can't have 22 for 3 after 6 overs.
On both those points, intent doesn't just mean boundaries. Intent means the ability to find the gaps, run your 1s and 2s. Injury obviously didn't help that cause from Sri Lanka's point of view, but intent to find the gaps, to run hard. Not just about the intent to find the boundaries.
And at times it looked like the only option they had was going to be the highest risk option. It was never good footwork where you chip it into the gap. We've talked about how important running 2s are on this ground. You're one good innings and two decent partnerships and 1 good innings away from chasing down a total.
Slightly quicker, but a good start from Glenn Phillips. Just the 4 runs coming from his first over. 14 have been bowled, 71 for 6, and time for drinks.
Can expect more with Sky Mobile.
We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
There's not long left to get up to £500 off package holidays in EasyJet's Big Orange Sale. Plus get up to 20% off flights. Book now at easyjet.com. Get out there.
Tilda. Same great price now in a new pack. In a world full of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Forget the dubious tips from that guy down the pub. Get real-time insights, analysis and tools. No more fat cat brokers clawing your gains. Pay zero commission on your investments. Switch to a platform trusted by investors for over 50 years. IG. Trade, invest, progress.
I'm gonna go to college having never had a girlfriend.
Hey, what about Erin? Maybe she's sick of guys with lots of confidence and chiseled jaws.
The same loser I was the day I walked in here.
That's what growing up's all about. Making mistakes and letting your mother fix it.
No more mistakes for us.
Susan Bennett, possession of marijuana.
Don Don.
Stop doing that.
It's a courtroom, Blair. I have to. It's the law. And order.
Ted Season 2. All episodes available on the 6th of March.
Six overs to go. 98 required. Mitchell Santner. 2 overs, none for 9. He's back. A little stretch, just a half a stretch of the arms from the umpire, but then just went back down quite quickly.
Yeah, the reverse sweep. Bowler gets more leeway on that leg stump line. Can't beat the fielder. Just so disciplined from New Zealand. We keep talking about it. That's also what they've got at their disposal with ball in hand. They've got so many different options that they can go to.
Guys! Might find the gap, but no, Ferguson gets around.
That's good running by the Sri Lankans, but Kamindu has to go. More than 17.45 required and over. They have to go. Even if it's a longer boundary, he has to give it a go.
Same area, and it should bring about the same result with a couple. Some believers still in the crowd. Have not too many of them have left. Have some faith. Either that or they're just staying for the ice cream. You're on, mate. You're on. You give your face a little wipe. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Right-hand side of Ferguson this time for 2 more. Ravindra's had 1 to go. 4 for 19. They're deciding to take over the reins. Swings it out straight to the man at deep mid-wicket and safely pouched by Glenn Phillips. Santner's got his first. Sri Lanka, all the 7s.
It's a story of the night for Sri Lanka with the bat. Gets a long hop, hits it straight to deep mid-wicket. Mindu is the last hope for Sri Lanka. Just gets it nowhere near the middle of the bat. When Phillips throws a bit of mayo on that. Simple catch in the end. Mitchell Santner, the skipper, gets his first. Minda Mendes goes for 31, 77 for 7.
77 for 7 here. Not good news at all for the locals. Dushmantha Jamira comes to the crease. Bowlers did a number on New Zealand for the first 16 overs, and then the rules changed, and they have not rechanged again since, because New Zealand have dominated the game from that point onwards, much to the dismay of this huge crowd. Phillips doing his part as well. That's gorgeous cricket shot, something to cheer about.
A great shot, walked across the stumps, trying to access that short boundary. Square leg's been brought up into the circle to try and stop the cut or the reverse sweep. The ball sails over the boundary.
Finally, someone with a plan. Creates the angle nicely. Well, Lalage. One in the deep. Way too much to do. How the game changes on its head. And this is something we've always seen. In Sri Lanka on top, the danger of going right down very fast.
6 off the first ball. They need a huge over here. It just has to continue. Breathe some life into this run chase. Keep going.
Glenn Phillips looking for the wicket. The ball short and wide for the cut. The batters get 2.
Look, if you look at the comparisons between the two teams, New Zealand were 91 for 6 at this stage. It was only in that last 4 overs that they went on to score 70. Now can Sri Lanka match it?
Well, unfortunately, I think for New Zealand, it was a fact that they had an extended batting lineup. Someone batting at number 6 and 8. Both had power, both had great records in T20 cricket, be it domestic or international.
Well, will Lalaga be a hero here? Because for Sri Lanka to get home, he has to dominate the strike. He has to hit the big numbers, but he has to be on strike most of the time.
It's all about power and execution. Dropping it short, Mitchell Santner. Kamida Mendes trying to clear the boundary, 2 flat and straight to the fielder.
Power and execution, Kumar, that's the problem with Sri Lanka. If they don't get that start in the power play, where do you go from there?
It's a little bit difficult when you don't get that quick start, because you can't really rotate strike with the field up. 7 fielders in the circle, only 2 allowed outside, so you need to be able to hit through or over the field as well. Boundaries, sixers. But once you get through that power play, you talked about Velalage having a plan. The off-spinner bowling step across, access the short boundary. Kusal Mendes could have done the same. Pawan Ratnayaka could have done the same. So we look at what's coming up tomorrow. Super 8 Group 1. West Indies versus South Africa at 3 p.m. Then, of course, the big one, India versus Zimbabwe. India, must-win game.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand have a day off tomorrow, and then they return to this very same venue to take on England, who at this stage top the group. That'll be a keenly fought contest. That is a 7 p.m. local time start.
And Smithy, New Zealand should look to wrap this innings up fast, because net run rate could come into it in case that game does not go to plan from New Zealand's point of view.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not wrong about that, Russell. Continually think about that. It's 87 for 7 after 16. Just to confirm what Russell Arnold was talking about, New Zealand were to win this, they go to 3 points, but that doesn't guarantee them the big Q next to their name. Because Pakistan can get to 3 points if they were to beat Sri Lanka. And if they did it with a good run rate, it puts New Zealand under pressure. That game is played first. England versus New Zealand is played first. Pakistan will know what they have to do. Top 2 teams, of course, go through to the semi-finals. So, yes, New Zealand's interest here is to try and get this done, if they can, as quickly as possible. New Zealand win today. Pakistan lose to Sri Lanka. New Zealand are through automatically. Run rates will not be a factor. Ravindra, what a day or night out he's had. Last over for him. Oh! Could he get a five-for?
No New Zealander has a five-for.
Came into this game with a roll for the bat. He performed pretty well with the bat, I think it's fair to say. No New Zealand spinner has ever taken a five-for T20 internationals.
Yeah, secondary skills for batters, so important in balancing out sides, giving them more options, giving them depth. Watching Ravindra, fantastic left-hand batter. Then Oxoke coming in for this game, proving his worth at the back end of their New Zealand batting innings.
Pulled away. Great contest, and Matt Henry just loses it. Boy, we've seen that one or two times from the big bowler tonight. New Zealand have just committed themselves fully in the field, and it's paid a good dividend for them.
Well, you get that from New Zealand all the time. They'll compete for every run, for every little edge that they can get. Surprised?
21 from 11 for Lanka. Could he be a superhero here? Oh, this is when New Zealand got going. You try to come back for two. A long throw from the longer boundary.
Again, a great example of not really having to have too much power to score at a good rate. He's striking almost at 200. He's hit 1-6, a couple of boundaries, run hard between the wickets. That's what you got to do. On pitches like this, grounds like this, good start in the power play, and then you keep pressing, running, rotating, looking for the odd boundary.
And when those dots are not played, you stay calmer. You end up making better decisions and you maintain a rhythm. The dots just bring about that false shot.
Yeah, sides play differently, right? If you take the West Indies, their biggest differentiator is their boundary count, 4s and 6ers. For sides like Sri Lanka with less power, you've got to try and find a way to win and score runs a different way.
Single off the last ball of the over. The good news is Lanka keeps the strike. Bad news is the asking rate keeps going up. It's 95 for 7.
If your friend asks you a question and the answer's on your phone, shouldn't your phone just answer? Google Pixel 10.
Three overs to go for Sri Lanka and 24.67 runs per over. Just left themselves too much to do.
If you look at the New Zealand side, pretty happy with the way they've played, the decisions they've made in terms of changing the side up and just having the skills to match up well in conditions like this.
I think keeping a cool head. I reckon if you ask Mitch Santner, and maybe we will at the end, you know, when you're around the 16 over mark, were you really thinking about 168? Well, realistically, what were you thinking? Were you thinking 140, 150? The bonus would be on top of that. I don't think at that point, when New Zealand were under the pump, they were thinking 168, right?
Certainly not. They would have been thinking, let's get something on the board to give the bowlers a chance, and that was probably 140. But New Zealand coming out here for this World Cup, they would have been ready for the grind. That preparation in India, that series, where you compete all the time against such a quality team, you know when to put the foot down, that there's no going away, that you have to keep hanging in there all the time.
You had England too coming and playing 3 T20s in Pallekele against Sri Lanka, so that's good preparation for England as well. But you just look at the New Zealand side, the skill sets that they have, dual skill players all the way through, a deep batting lineup, competent fast bowlers who can lead an attack, who can come back in the death, although they've been expensive in the death.
Pumped square of the wicket, just a single down into the deep. New Zealand protecting that short boundary. That'll be the plus for them. The hunch they played on McConkey and the fact that McConkey delivered in a crunch situation. That to me is the story. The rest of them have got a power of experience behind them. But the McConkey selection, which was so fruitful, I think that'll be LBW. That it will.
No way, Smithy. Outside the line, wasn't it?
Might have hit it too, mightn't he? Not going to get any league by signal, Russ.
How far across he's gone. Yeah, off the glove. Another advantage for New Zealand coming to Friday's game against England. England have played all their games up in Pallekele. Slightly different conditions. There is an adjustment that's going to be required. 100 for 7 after 18. Couple of the games England have played in Pallekele, and when they were here, the preparation with Sri Lanka was also played up there, all 3 games.
Their sides always look for whatever advantage they can get. You know, even if it's a lead up to a country that's hosting a World Cup in the future. That's all about the planning you do. Future tours are always planned with the purpose in mind. Things very grim for Sri Lanka. Played well in patches, but when it counted, unfortunately, they've been found wanting.
Well, there was a massive buzz in these fan parks earlier on in the evening. But then suddenly, the mood changed. The team, they can't fault their fans. They came out in their numbers. Support the team here today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hope, a lot of expectations, especially by the 16th over of that New Zealand batting innings. Things changed. Yeah, disappointed fans. But look, Russell, I mean, you look at the Sri Lankan side, when you look at the future beyond this World Cup, yes, they played well in patches, they've been found wanting. If they lose this, the chances of a semi-finals is done. But they've got the bones of a very good side. They've got Nisanka, they've got Mendes, the 2 Mendeses. They have found a good play in Pavan Ratnayaka. They've got some good fast bowlers, so they've got the bones of a good side that they can flesh out. The next step is the plan, and this is where the game changed, Smithy.
Absolutely. McConkey in for Jimmy Neesham, and that's because they started to put pressure on the Sri Lankan bowling. The Sri Lankan bowling did not react well. That's the other thing they had to learn, to react to the pressure. That one nearly didn't get to the other end from Santner.
Well, Kumar, another area they should really focus on is keeping their better players on the park.
Yeah, injuries, and that's a big differentiator. We always say the best skill is availability. Always on the park, your best players, time after time, game after game, and that allows for the best chance of victory for your side.
leading bowlers fell along the way, and here even today in an important game, your biggest player hampered.
Yeah, I think World Cups and results either way allow for good learning, good planning, and understanding what is required in terms of getting to a stage where you can keep competing in big tournaments, in benchmark tournaments like World Cups.
A Walker single to end the 19th over. It's 104 for 7, and bear this in mind, since Sanga's retirement, Sri Lanka haven't reached the semis in T20 World Cups.
You had a fabulous bowling lineup, that was for sure. No one was scoring runs against them.
Hey, you talked about mystery spin, you talked about Lasith Malinga and Nuwan Kulasekara. Experience all around, and experience is a big factor in winning big tournaments. We've always found that. I think that's one of the things that Sri Lanka need to look at. Yes, you need to find new players, but you also need to have a core of experienced players around which others can play.
Last over, too many to win. It will be Glenn Phillips, and this is significant for New Zealand, and we've got a statistician finally doing something. He's trying to work out the last time New Zealand bowled 17 overs of spin in a T20 international. There you go. He came up with the good old mass. Once before. Lucknow. Once before. 17 overs of spin in a T20. Oh. There you go.
The crowd leaving a little bit early, but they know the game is done. 19.2, 105 for 7. New Zealand too good on the day.
Well, finding ways to win, finding ways to actually reverse the pressure. Absolutely brilliant from New Zealand, 84 for 6. And then you still have players who can come and give you a massive score. At the toss, if you said you were chasing 170, you'd have felt the pressure. 165 was the number you'd probably look.
Not quite going to carry. And pretty well checked in the deep as well from Mark Chapman. He's been pretty quiet in the park. He's one of the boundary riders, but because Sri Lanka have not been able to get momentum into this innings, the boys in the deep, the Chapmans and the Phillips, have been pretty quiet, but it's a good bit of work.
Does he touch the rope, the foot? The batters didn't run. Velalage looking to just keep the strike and continue.
This time it's in the air, and this time Ravindra waits for it and catches it with safe hands. And Glenn Phillips, regardless of the situation, loves a wicket.
Glenn Phillips again. He's matured into a very useful player. Immense power with the bat, but of course he's a wily and canny off spinner now in all formats of the game. Well bowled. Velalage going for the shorter boundary, going for a 6. Fortunately finding the fielder.
29 then to Velalage, 105 for 8.
Bunch. And the New Zealand support group there. Manager Mike Sandel in the background has been through many a campaign that do the background work for these players on the park to do their bit. Tamira, his job was to restrict New Zealand. They couldn't in the end. That was the problem. And so for Mitchell Santner and his side, mission accomplished this time round, but still not job done to a large degree. On the charge, down the ground for a single, and we're left to the last ball. New Zealand will take heart that they've been able to get out of this without the likes of Mitchell, without the likes of Phillips, Chapman's, the top order. That's why the smiles will be there, because they weren't there